All right, everyone, welcome. My name is Jacob Bridges, Tour Director for the Capital City Amateur Tour. We're here now. We're doing cart ready for the Pinnacle Golf Club. This is a combined event with the Queen City Amateur Tour out of Cincinnati for what is our second leg of 3 events in the Ohio Ryder Cup Championship Series. So just previewing some of what we're going to go over here. Everyone, once I just mentioned, everyone's muted upon entry. Sessions recorded to be made available to share, or you can listen back to it on YouTube. If you so happen to kind of sit back and kind of text each other, ask questions, you can do so privately in the chat box. And again, we'll keep this under 45 minutes, kind of 40 minutes, and cover the topics here on the next. So what are we going to talk about? So obviously this is a combined event. Most of the folks outside of the city of Columbus, or if this is your first time watching this is kind of what we're going to go over. We're not going to do any recap, but essentially what this is, I do this every Wednesday, every day before the event and the day following the event. Obviously, because of the environment we're in, we can't gather. So this is kind of the alternative to that. We're going to look over the tour database. We're going to talk about our event tomorrow and some of these items that you see here, self-explanatory, and we'll go forward. So let's press. So the recap, this question came up last week. How do I get to these YouTube sessions? So if you navigate to the tour database and you kind of go over here in what I call the Players Club, if you click this button right here, Tour Talk, it will launch another spreadsheet. Will show you all the links to every episode we always have. So you can kind of archive and go back if you have trouble finding it on YouTube yourself under the keyword Tour Talk or Capital City Amateur Tour. All right, here's a database. Here's a screenshot of that. I think towards the middle of this, we'll kind of get inside of it. This is where all the information is. So this might be the 15th time you might have heard this, but there's a guy out there watching right now. This is the first time. So this is the landing page for all the events that we have. There's 2 ways you can get to it. Every player that's in this event have received an email from me that includes 2 links. One of them is forwards you to the tour homepage, where if you click the website icon that's linked inside of that page, it will launch this database. The other link is a file share link, which is essentially what this is. It operates just like a website, but it's just a file share. But right now, this is kind of what you see when you open it up. Now, when you do it, if you're doing it on a mobile phone, this is the question I get quite frequently. You're going to have to change your settings to a desktop. So that way you can see it the way it was created in a desktop version. And if you're an Android user or an iPhone user, there's a couple ways to do that. If you have any questions, just reach out to me and we'll go from there. All right, the hot and heavy. This is Pinnacle. Pinnacle is a beautiful course. Lanny Watkins design, course record held by Jason Day. So we're playing this it's tomorrow. And I said June 15th here. This is so wrong. Who did this? That is wrong. I'm gonna fire somebody. This is not June 15th. That's a poor copy and paste job. So we're at June 22nd. Straight tees. First one's going off at 8 o'clock. Last one's going off around 3. Confirm the range and practice area is opening at 7 a.m. So if you got that early tee time at 8, just know that the range and practice area will be open at 7. If your tee time, regardless of what it is, please do not arrive 40 minutes prior to that. This allows for that distancing and to alleviate having so many players on property, or it kind of keeps us separated if you stay within that guideline. Many of you are traveling from outside the city of Columbus. Cincinnati and Kentucky folks, I know you're traveling a bit. The first thing you want to do is use the restroom. So upon your arrival, it is located inside the clubhouse, and also the pro shop will be open. Once we get to the arrival sheet here, I can kind of show you what that looks like. So in my email that was communicated on Thursday, I mentioned that the course just has pivoted to a policy where they are now allowing 2 persons in a cart. And our discussion was pretty good. It was about, I've had a registration open for over 2 months now. And upon entry to this event, every player was advised that they'd be in a single cart. That is still the case. I hope my communication didn't confuse, but if it did prompt questions, every player by default will be in a single cart, okay? You will be paired with somebody only if you request it, okay? So if you know your pairing and you know the person in your pairing by chance, because I did pairings before this came up, and you're like, hey, I don't mind riding with this guy. Cool, you can ride in the same cart. But default is you're paired in a single cart. Here is the policy. The course, says, well, you're in threesomes. If a pairing group is all single riders, that means there's 3 carts on the course. If we did that for 40 groups, that's a lot of carts on the course. And what they want to prevent is they don't want that many carts zigzagging all over the fairways. So basically 2 carts permitted in the fairway. Okay, it preserves the course. If we did that many cart use and we're zigzagging all over the place, it's just going to rip the course up. So if 3 balls are in the fairway, just one person just say, hey, I think it just happens naturally. I think you make bigger a deal about it if you talk to it, but I think naturally someone is not in the fairway, but purposely we're going to have to abide by this course policy. So again, 2 carts in the fairway. Is anyone out there have any questions about that, or does it just make sense? I'm a pause right here. Right. Nothing means it makes sense. All right. So because they have allowed 2 persons in a cart, this does also open up the chance that if you have a spectator or guest or a caddy, they may accompany you in your cart. So if you have a significant other, wife, girlfriend, son, daughter, nephew, niece that you feel like that they want to spend the day with you, by all means, you don't have to tell me this. You really don't. You're already in a single cart. They can just come with you. But again, as a spectator, you as the player, you're responsible for their conduct and behavior on the course. Okay. Here's the most important one, I guess second most important. Players may bring non-alcoholic drinks and snacks. This came up during Medallion. Okay, so they do have a full staff restaurant on site. There will be a turn window, but there will not be a beverage cart. So you are permitted to bring non-alcoholic drinks and snacks with you to the course. I cringe when someone shows up and asks how they can buy water. I do. I can't. There's no way for me to help you. Okay, I got my water, but you need to bring your own. Okay, and this is kind of where I'm communicating it to you to do that. The most important part I've arrived to is you have to report to the starter. You have to report to the starter 10 minutes before your tee time. Okay. This is when I go over course conditions, rules for play, much of the same information we're going over now. That way we can get off at the prompt time, and that way we don't have a delay in our tee sheets. So again, can't show up 45 minutes before your tee time. You must be at the first tee 10 minutes before it. Okay. So that gives you a good 35 minutes of navigating the course property and getting some balls in, practice hit a few putts on the practice green, and get over to number 1. All right. Here's the arrival. This is what the arrival looks like. If you're watching, this is how, these are the folks from, so this, I'm facing north, looking overhead, bird's eye view. These are the folks coming from Stringtown. If you're coming from Kentucky, Cincinnati area, I know your GPS might get you off at State Route 665. I encourage you to go to 71 Stringtown Road. The simply reason is because you have Dick's Sporting Goods, you got Walmart that's over there, you got a couple restaurants if you want to grab something to eat on the way in. But essentially, if you come in at Stringtown Road, you have those places to stop at, especially if you want to get some tees, some particular balls, if you want to get some rain gear, I don't know, whatever you want to get. This is the direction you'll be coming in from. And when you arrive here in Pinnacle Club Drive, all players, you're simply just to arrive at the course. You can certainly proceed up into the bag drop area, drop your clubs off, then proceed and either park in one of the 2 parking areas to the left or right of the drive. Okay, once you exit your vehicle, just return back up to the cart staging area, okay, at the clubhouse, grab your cart, and then proceed over to the practice area. Driving range over here. You got 2 putting greens over here, 1 on each side. You have a pitching green on the far side here. And then this is the number 1 tee. Okay. So again, when you leave the clubhouse, there's a little skinny path right here, crosses the driveway, crosses the street, and then you can go on to the putting green or drive range. Okay. And then circle back to the number 1 tee. I, as a starter, will be on the number 1 tee. We'll have a mobile radio device that will allow me to access the audio systems on the range. So that way, if I don't have a player reporting in a due manner, I'm going to announce their name and have them promptly report to the first tee. Okay. So this is what your arrival looks like if you've never been to the property, or even if you have, this is kind of what it looks like for tomorrow. Weather. All right. I'm an amateur golfer, but I'm better at predicting the weather. So into tonight, into early morning, we will have some thunderstorms and showers. There's a 100% chance of rain. It looks like it's going to be maybe an inch or so, but it looks like the wind's blowing pretty good. That's going to blow through the area. It will taper off in the morning, and then clear up a lot right around the noon into the afternoon time frame, where it'll be less than 10% chance. So we're certainly going to get some rain. How much? It all depends. When I arrive at the course tomorrow, I'll be there at 7 o'clock. I'll discuss with the pro and what the conditions are for the course that day. So the rule of thumb is if we're off the path, the ball's down. If we have to stay on the path, meaning cart path only through the course, it's probably live clean in place. So weather, we will play, but it seems like the conditions will allow for us to get the entire tournament. Now, it's not an accident that this event is held tomorrow. It's essentially was to be placed on a weekend where we have the most daylight of the entire year. This event was built to be a 162 player event, 2 shotgun waves. But because of social distancing and where we're at today, we have a good 14 hours of daylight without the overcast. So I don't think there will be any threatening chance that we won't shorten this event. So again, this is just the inclement weather. This is the approach I'll have, and then I'm there on the course of the whole day, so I'll certainly be able to moderate, look at the weather, and seeing how our conditions and how well we're moving through the course. All right. Scoring. So Capital City players, you guys are familiar with this. Scoring is going to work where you just use the core scorecard. I know Cincinnati, I think you guys just recently went to Golf Genius, a live scoring system. Not here. You just use a scorecard. Each player in the group, when you arrive to the first tee, you'll get your own scorecard, and then you run an extra one for the group. At the end of the round, that extra scorecard is where players will transcribe the scores to it for legibility. You take a picture of it, and you send it to all the 3 players in the group, including myself, in a group text. This is how you score and test a scorecard. It's an e-attesting process. It's pretty simple. We've done it before. A couple people got it right. A few people got it wrong. But essentially, this is how we do scoring for tomorrow. Social distancing. They have plenty of carts. They have 90 carts available for us to use. I think the league group, we have 112. I think by tonight we'll have 112 players in this event. Don't do the math. Okay, so we have 90 carts. The first group will get done in less than 4 hours. So easily by the time the noon pairing tees off, those carts are being returned and recycled for use. So that's why they're able to satisfy our entire field. But I was informed that this course too has installed the Easy Lift touchless ball retrievers. These devices are something that we're familiar with playing at Medallion and the Country Club Muirfield Village. So your guys are going to see that as we play the event tomorrow. Side games. So if you're a guy that likes that side game action, those pots that you can enter as optional, they're still available. If you haven't entered in side games, it's best that you do it before tonight it's over with. You can do it all the way up until you tee off, but it's better for me as far as updating the site, making sure the pots are accurate if you make an entry to get in these games. There is a new game. If you haven't been actually following, I did announce it's squares. Okay. So this is kind of confusing. If you've never done squares before, it simply is going to take the last 2 digits of the combined scores of the front 9, back 9, and overall. The pot's $500, and we're paying out three ways. So it's $168. Each square is $5 a piece. So if you've done Buckeye football, if you've done Super Bowl football, it essentially works like quarters. It essentially works like halves, and it's $5 a square. So sounds fun, but if the squares don't fill up, I just refund everyone's money. Okay, so we need all these squares. Looks like we're halfway through, and I think it could get there. It just needs a lot of attention, and I think this is the kind of attention it can get. Trophy and prize fund. Here's where it is, baby. Here is the bread and butter. This is what you're playing for. All flights. We have 10. Was it 10? Yep, 10 flights at play tomorrow. Who we got out here? Brad, is that Brad Allwood? Am I looking at you, Brad? Brad, what flight you in, buddy? Let's get you off of mute.
I'm in Saracen.
You're in Saracen flight. So selectively, man, that's the highest, that's the most players that we have in the entire field in that flight, 18, right? So, man, listen, you're looking at 250 with a trophy or 305 without a trophy. $305 without a trophy. What's that sound like to you?
Sounds like a nice trophy on my wall.
Is that exciting or what, man? I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty stoked about this size and this kind of prize fund.
That's nice. It's really cool.
Right? All right, let me hop over to someone else. Brian B. Who we got here? Brian B. Brian, what flight you in, Brian?
Sneed.
So you're in Sneed. So Sneed and Senior Sneed had to be combined because Senior Sneed only had 4 players. So they have a total of 13 participants. And Brian, are you familiar with this breakout in this structure?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. What you think of this, man? 210 for the first place with trophy or 265 without? What's that sound
Sounds like you need to keep the ball in play tomorrow.
I hear that, man. I hear you. Well, good luck to you out there. And if you're the lucky one that kind of lands in that spot where you're first place and you got that decision to make, I'll be certainly pleased and happy to share that with you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So we're going to press on here. The results. I think I lost myself. There we go. Am I back on? Thumbs up. All right. Accidental press mute on this thing. So when we get to after the event, as much as I preview what occurs leading up to what happens the day of, when the event is completed, this is where you find the results. Okay. When you go out to the web link, let me slide this over to you. When you go out to the web link, again, acts like just a website, right? You can either go 2 places. So let's go to the Pinnacle page, right? So I'm right over here. We're going to Pinnacle. This is the tournament information page. This is where the active roster is. Tells you what your tee time is next to your name. Here it is in the center. Tells you what color tees you're playing from. But when I was trying to direct you, this is the tees each flight plays from. And this is kind of where I was telling you, this is one way you can get to the results. You click on results right here. This is where the results are located. Okay. It's broken out by flight already. Tells you what tees you're playing are from the far left. It actually synced up where if you're in flight, skins, super low man, last man standing, tells you what the tees are, what slope and rating, your differential will be calculated. And I think Tom Beckel, you out there, man, you're listening. So Tom, right now, man, I think you're in the Jones flight, right? Senior Jones flight. Tom, you're right here. So right now, your differential is already ready to go, man. We're just waiting on scores. All right. So it looks like you got a good 6 participants in your flight. You got a female playing. She's playing from silver. But essentially, this is kind of what it looks like, man. This is where you go to get your results. If you're at the home page, you can just simply click here, and you can actually go back and look at Medallion Golf Club. So this is kind of where the Medallion Golf Club results are. You can still look at all that stuff. I think I was just touching base with Tom Bechtel here. Tom, you played in there. Man, we didn't have a good round, but I think you're ready for a rebound, buddy. All right. Brad Allwood, you were in here, man. I was talking to you early. You finished 3rd place. You got that $55 Visa gift card. And look, man, you already told me to hold it on credit. And guess where that note's at? It tells you right there. So this is me making record. Not only am I tour director, but I'm your accountant. I'm keeping track of your money. And if you're ever questioning if I, am keeping track of it, I'm telling you right here. All right. So it's all good with you. It's all good with me, but I got to show it that way. The reason why you like this and the reason why it all makes sense and you're telling me it's a good tour is because I do things just like this, right? When it looks good off the course, it's going to be great on the course. All right. So let's jump back out. I think we kind of pivoted off of the results page and how you were to get there. So we're back on the show, the award ceremony. So we kind of did some of that, what if you won, what would you do kind of thing, and what the prize fund looks like. I'm talking to my Queen City. This is the denominator in which I'm speaking to. So what can you win? Well, the choice is yours. You saw the prize breakout. If you elect the trophy option, that hardware, that trophy will be shipped to your house with your name on it. Okay? Because due to social distancing, there's no way I can award a trophy. The reason why flight integrity is not needed to be kept or maintained when you're playing, it's not necessary because I'm not awarding a trophy at the same time. So, nor do I need to pre-order trophies. So that's why after the event, maybe 2-3 days after, I kind of get the winners and I kind of ask them, do you want a trophy or not? And then we go from there and then go through the proofing process. But once it ships and gets to your home, it's going to be personalized with your name on it because, again, we already know who won the tournament. So this allows for a great opportunity for award of post prize and tournament. All right, so this is the question now. I think we got off to a good start. You know, while we have some time here, I'm gonna open it up and ask if you guys got any questions, what thoughts you might have, what information you haven't seen yet, or essentially just go from there. So open forum, anybody. Let's get some questions going.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is Brett Goodson. How do you get into that $5 square game?
So good question, buddy. You can Venmo me the same thing. So if you're looking here on the Pinnacle page under the optional side games, right?
Right.
Okay, I added it right here. So it says golf squares. It's $5 per square. All you got to do is Venmo me.
Okay.
So $5 a square, and you tell me the number square you want. So if you're looking over here, and Brett, if you're like, all right, give me square 33, give me square 56, give me square 58, give me $15 in Venmo, and then I'll put your name in those squares.
Okay. So how do you win again?
So, okay, so let's say the front nine. So once all of the scores are inputted in the results, and let's say the combined first nine of all scores is 4,950. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's the last two numbers. So 50
okay.
is the winning number. So you got to do an XY axis. So the front nine scores are right here. So I do 5 up here and then 0 up here. So it's this square. John Kowalski will receive $168.
Okay, I got it.
And then the back nine scores, let's say it's a total of 5,024. So I select the 2 here and the 4 here, and on that X and Y, that square would win.
Okay, so somewhere between 1 and 99.
1 and 100. Yep.
Okay, somebody's got 100.
Yep.
Okay, good. Got it.
Cool. Good question. And again, if it doesn't fill up, if this board does not fill up, again, we need 100 squares. Looks like we're close to halfway there. If it does not fill up, you're just going to get your money back.
Okay.
All right. Next question. All right. So if there's not a question, maybe you can think of one. I'm going to pivot real quick, and I'm going to tell you, I got Nick Johnston on the line here. Nick Johnston, you with me? Let's get you off of mute.
I'm mute. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. So Nick Johnston's on the line here, and just recently, this past week, Nick officially was able to complete the launch of the website. So this website here is simply a landing page. Okay, if you feel like the Excel spreadsheet, if I'm communicating to you, needs to be a more simplified manner, everything that's placed on that Excel spreadsheet is loaded here. So if you go to www.capitalcityamtour.com, you're going to arrive at the same information, just more in a web-friendly way of seeing things. Okay, it's going to tell you what the membership costs are. It's going to tell you, you know, what's the theme, what's the benefits of what this tour is, what's next on the tee, and then kind of what perks are, why this tour is better or different than others. Okay, so you know, we have all the events here, and Nick did a great job with this, man. This is on his own accord. This is on his own time. This is what he does personally, but he felt like when I didn't have something to share, he felt inside of him he wanted to help, and this is what he came up with. So you can kind of see this this slide here where the pictures, the backdrop here is a beautiful sunset over a hole. And like Pinnacle event, you just click on it, it launches, it goes over the same information stuff that's on that Excel tour database. Okay, it's not synced information. Most of the information is manually updated, but at least it's another alternative for you to find it in a very easy way. Okay, if you look at the tee sheet, It's essentially the same information that you saw in the Excel spreadsheet. It's just loaded here. Okay. So again, there wasn't no questions, but essentially I just wanted to take this time to recognize the hard work and that this availability and for your use is out there at www.capitalcitymtour.com. Nick, thank you, buddy, man. This is a lot of work and I appreciate it. Do you got anything to say to it, man? This is your moment.
Nope. Hopefully we have a good tournament tomorrow and it stays pretty dry. If anybody has any questions about the website when they use it, just let Jacob know. He can forward them to me. If there's anything out there that they see that doesn't look right or something of that nature, feel free to let us know, and we'll get it updated, change it as quickly as possible.
Yep. Excellent, man. Well, once again, thank you for your hard work. This is pretty nice, and I'm sure the players, once they know that it's available for their use, I'm sure that they're going to visit it and see to it that they can use it to their benefit as well. Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions out there? All right. Well, if there's no questions, I certainly will then. We're T-minus 4 minutes. I would just open it up that every one of us out there are either a father or have a father that has left a great impression upon us to be the great, solid, outstanding gentleman, young, fine man that we all are. I'm a father of 2, husband for the second time. Didn't get it right the first time. But I feel touched that many of you have a commitment to this tour, just like you do your family. And it's certainly a tour that over the years has allowed for me to grow into the person, husband, father that I am. I got my mom we did the Mother's Day thing, and this is Father's Day. So if you got a Father's Day story, it's all about you guys. By all means, my dad was not a person that introduced me to golf, but when I did play high school golf, he did follow me to every tournament. He's not with me here today, but I certainly want to lead by example and follow in the great graces of the family name. So my hat's off to you guys. Happy Father's Day. And I can kind of give you guys the mic here. And if you want something to share, by all means, the floor is yours. Okay. Well, I'm curious. We got someone called HP Administrator. This is pretty funny. I saw this show up. Who's HP Administrator? Any video or any sound to this? All right. Must be someone in the kitchen want to steal the recipe, but it's all fun and stuff. All right. Well, listen, if there's no more, I look forward to tomorrow. So tonight through the evening, I think we'll wake up and see what the weather looks like. If you got any questions for me, feel free to reach out. Let me know. Uh-oh, we got HP Administrator. Who's HP Administrator? Who we got? All right, somebody probably doesn't know that they're live and they got a hot mic, so I cut them off. But if you're listening, sounded like you were in a car getting ready to go somewhere. So again, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Again, tomorrow, by tonight, I think we're going to have 112 players. And I mentioned this in the email. If you didn't catch it, I looked around. I looked everywhere, left, right, up, and down. This is the largest single day 18-hole golf tournament in the entire United States during the COVID-19 era. There is no other amateur tour event being held with this many players. So kudos to you. Social distancing alike, the response of the entrance to this field, it has made it what it is. So congratulations, and know that you're a part of something very big. And we do it right. We do it so well. And again, I look forward to the competition camaraderie tomorrow. So I'm signing off. I'm Jacob Bridges, Capital City Amateur. See you at the course.